Chapter 15, page 234. Last, God created Adam and Eve to live together happily as husband and wife, eternal partners. They lived peacefully for years in a beautiful garden full of tall, straight plants that grew in neat rows and well-behaved animals to serve as pets. Their minds were clear and untroubled as the pale and cloudless blue sky which hung like a canopy over their heads. They were untouched by illness, pain, or desire. They did not dream. They did not ask questions. Each morning they woke as refreshed as newborns. Everything was always the same, but it always felt new and good. Okay, real quick. We know that when it says that Adam and Eve were untouched by desire, what was Eve's downfall in the Bible?
Apple.
The apple that she desired. She wanted that apple, she ate it, and that was what ended up being the huge problem for us for the rest of forever. So did they change this story in the Bible? Or in the book of, I guess this is from Genesis, a complete history of the world and the known universe. Yeah, they absolutely did change it. What would be the purpose for changing these things?
To make people believe.
What? To make people believe what? In the cure. To make people believe in the cure. The next day, a Saturday, I wake up thinking of Alex. Then I try to stand up and pain shoots through my leg. Hitching up my pajamas, I see a small spot of blood has seeped through the t-shirt Alex wrapped around my calf. I know I should wash it or change the bandage or do something, but I'm too scared to see how bad the damage is. The details from the party, of screaming and shoving and dogs and batons whirling through the air deadly, come flooding back, and for a moment I'm sure I'm going to be sick. Then the dizziness subsides and I think of Hannah. Our phone is in the kitchen. My aunt is at the sink washing the dishes and gives me a small look of surprise when I come downstairs. I catch a glimpse of myself in the hallway mirror. I look terrible. Hair sticking up all over my head, big bags under my eyes, and it strikes me as unbelievable that anyone could ever find me pretty. But someone does. Thinking of Alex makes a golden glow spread through me. Better hurry, Carol says. You'll be late for work. I was just about to wake you. I just have to call Hannah, I say. I snake the cord as far as it will go and back up into the pantry so at least I'll have some privacy. I try Hannah's house first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rings. Then the answering machine clicks on. You've reached the Tate residence. Please leave a message of no more than 2 minutes. I hang up quickly. My fingers have begun to tremble and I have trouble punching in Hannah's cell phone number. Straight to voicemail. Her greeting is exactly the same as it's always been. Hey, sorry I couldn't get to the phone. Or maybe I'm not sorry I couldn't get to the phone. It depends on who's calling. Her voice coming in fuzzy, bubbling with suppressed laughter. Hearing it, the normalcy of it, after last night gives me a jolt, like suddenly dreaming yourself back into a place you haven't thought about for a while. I remember the day she recorded it. It was after school and we were in her room and she went through about 1,000,000 greetings before she settled on that one. I was bored and kept whacking her with a pillow whenever she wanted to try just one more. Hannah, you need to call me, I say into the phone, keeping my voice as low as possible. I'm far too aware that my aunt is listening. I'm working today. You can reach me at the store. I hang up feeling dissatisfied and guilty. While I was in the shed last night with Alex, she could have been hurt or in trouble. I should have done more to find her. Lena, my aunt calls me sharply back into the kitchen just as I'm headed upstairs to get ready. Yes? She comes forward a few steps. Something in her expression makes me anxious. Are you limping? She asks. I've been trying as hard as possible to walk normally. I look away. It's easier to lie when I'm not staring in her eyes. I don't think so. Don't lie to me. Her voice turns cold. You don't think I know what this is about. But I do. For one terrified second, I think she's going to ask me to roll up my pajama pants or tell me that she knows about the party. But then she says, You've been running again, haven't you? Even though I told you not to. Only once, I blurt out, relieved. I think I may have twisted my ankle. Carol shakes her head and looks disappointed. Honestly, Lena, I don't know when you started disobeying me. I thought that you, of all people. She breaks off. Oh well, only 5 weeks to go, right? Then all of this will be worked out. Right. I force myself to smile. All morning I oscillate between worrying about Hannah and thinking of Alex. I ring up the wrong charge for customers twice and have to call for Jed, my uncle's general manager, to come override it. Then I knock down a whole shelf of frozen pasta dinners and mislabel a dozen cartons of cottage cheese. Thank God my uncle's not in the store today. He's out doing deliveries, so it's just Jed and me. And Jed hardly looks at me or speaks to me except in grunts, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to notice that I've suddenly turned into a clumsy, incompetent mess. I know part of the problem, of course. The disorientation, the distraction, the difficulty focusing, all phase 1 signs of deliria. But I don't care. If pneumonia felt this good, I'd stand out in the snow in the winter with bare feet and no coat on, or march into the hospital and kiss pneumonia patients. I've told Alex about my work schedule, and we've agreed to meet up at Back Cove directly after my shift at 6 o'clock. The minutes crawl towards noon. I swear I've never seen time go more slowly. It's like every second needs encouragement just to click forward into the next. I keep willing the clock to go faster, but it seems to be resisting me deliberately. I see a customer picking her nose in the tiny aisle of kind of fresh produce. I look at the clock, back at the customer, look back at the clock, and the second hand still hasn't moved. I have this terrible fear that time will stop completely while this woman has her pinky finger buried up her right nostril, right in front of the tray of wilted lettuce. At noon, I get a 15-minute break, and I go outside and sit on the sidewalk and choke down a few bites of a sandwich, even though I'm not hungry. The anticipation of seeing Alex again is messing with my appetite big time. Another sign of the deliria. Bring it. At 1 o'clock, Jed starts restocking the shelves, and I'm still stuck behind the counter. It's wickedly hot, and there's a fly trapped in the store that keeps buzzing around and bumping up against the overhanging shelf above my head, where we keep a